Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 31st of July. Starting on with the FTSE 100, which is ending the month at record levels, which is obviously normally a very good look in terms of the technicals as well. We opened the month at the low and closing at the high, barring any disappointments over this session. But at the top of the channel there, 92.17. We were looking for that by the end of August. Obviously, at the moment, it looks as though we might get there a bit sooner. I might have to revise the upside target. On the downside, the top of the old green channel there, 90.60, the worst we're expecting on the downside. And hopefully that will come to pass. Moving on to the DAX, and here also a market getting over the lack of the Fed reducing rates. We've got that resistance line there from earlier in the month, around 24,500. Want to see an end of day close above that to give us a move towards the top of the channel there from last year, 25,500 by the end of August. On the downside, hoping that the 50-day line, 23,900, will be the low on any rug pull, but doesn't look like we're going to get a rug pull on that situation. Moving on to the Dow, and here it's all about the 44,000, 45,000 range, and basically trying to break out of that. If we can break out of that, well, ideally today, but that might be pushing it. But early in August, then we could be looking at a potential move to the top of that rising trend channel from May last year, as high as 47,400 by the end of next month. Obviously, at the moment, the Dow has been a market which has underperformed, given that it hasn't gone to new record highs, whereas even the FTSE has managed to do that. On the downside, the worst here would be a rug pull towards the 50-day line, 43,400, but we aren't expecting any sustained action back below 44,000, especially given the way that the RSI is still well above neutral 50 at 55. Onto the cryptos, and here we got a situation where we are on the floor of that rising trend channel on Bitcoin. The top of the channel, they're heading for 142, but obviously we need to stay above 115,000 recent support in order to get to that target. Hoping for that by, well, possibly as soon as the end of next month, but obviously at the moment we've been dithering for the last few weeks. RSI still bouncing above neutral 50, so all we're really missing at the moment is an end of day close through 121 to give us that power move up to the 140s. On the downside, not expecting anything lower now than the area of the 50-day line and the old May support at $112,000. Although obviously what you normally see in these situations is a bit of a overlap on the downside, so 110 or 109 could be possible as well. Moving on to Ethereum, and here we've been eyeing up a new move to the upside, and it looks as though in a way this market's more enthusiastic about the upside at the moment than Bitcoin. Obviously it is that much lower. It hasn't actually broken its turn of the year highs, which means it is underperforming Bitcoin. Currently we've got some support coming in, or it has come in this week, just below 3,700, above that, looking for a quite direct move by the end of next month up to 4,400. Worst case is that we've got to test the top of the old rising trend channel, which was our previous target, 35.20, before we head up to 4,400. On to gold, and here it's been a bit of a struggle of late, and we can see that if I type in the right name, then we will see that we've got a market which is looks as though it's broken out of that rising trend channel. The risk was that below the 33.20 area, we could have to test the late June support here towards 32.20, and it looks as though that's what's going to happen. RSI at 40, so at least while we're below the 50-day moving average there at 33.40, there's a risk of a decline towards 3,200. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Alchemy, where it looks as though everyone and their mother guessed what today's news was going to be. Final flourish to retest last week's resistance through 300 pence. The previous target here around the 280 level. And the risk now is that we have a pullback towards the gap floor there around £2.10, but that's probably the worst we're expecting at the moment. And while we're above that, still looking for 300 pence again in coming days and weeks. Couldn't resist looking at Ariana because it looks as though it's finally going to have a decent turnaround. The only block here is the old resistance from February around 2 pence. So we need an end of day close above 2 pence to then give us the chance of a move towards 2.7 pence, which was December resistance. And there's not much on the chart between 2 and 2.7. So hopefully, if we get that end of day close through 2 pence, the shares will be on their way. Another stock which has come back after an extended absence is Aminex, and here we got what looks like a mid-move consolidation. Obviously, the shares are hitting our target there, our target line 1.85. End of day close above 1.85, and hopefully we're looking for a retest of the best levels of the past year up to 2 pence over the course of the next few weeks. After that, the position is that one would be searching out the upper parallel of that target line there, the red one, and looking for a rather higher destination, which in this case would be up to 2.5 pence. But let's see. If we can clear the 2.2 pence area, we can get up to 2.5 pence by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of recent 1.6 pence support, whatever happens. Moving along to a stock which has been championed here on a fundamental and a technical basis, and managed to hit that the £2.30 target area that we had before. Current situation is that if you look at the larger perspective, the shares are in a rising trend channel there from back in the end of 2021. Top of the channel there, £3.20. We're looking for that by the end of next month, especially while we remain on the right side of £2.30. Ideally, as you can see, the initial July support there, 2.17. So that's probably the best stop loss at the moment. On to Capital Metals, which had some news earlier this week and seems to be enjoying itself at the moment. We're in a rising trend channel there from December, top of the channel there up to 3.75 pence, and we're looking for that by the end of August, while we're above the 50-day line at 2.9 pence. Mkango's next, and here it's obviously looking pretty solid. The only mystery is what the trajectory is, and it looks as though we're heading for that red resistance line projection at 45 pence by the end of next month, while we remain above recent support around the 28 pence area on an end of day close basis. Smartware looking interesting at the moment because obviously we're looking for that new leg to the upside. We've had decent traction here either side of the rising 50-day line. That's currently around £2.35. End of day close above the 50-day line, and more importantly, that June resistance line at £2.35. We could be looking at a decent move to the upside. Obviously, there's not much there between the £2.35 pence area and the £4 area that was the recent July peak for this market. Ideally, we stay on the right side of £2 now, whatever happens on Smartware. But the only other thing to wait for is perhaps an end of day close for the RSI back above neutral 50. That really would be a bonus. On to the last few. First one is Seed, and here we've had a nice, what I call a V-shaped bull flag. We've had a bear trap rebound from below a sharply rising 50-day moving average, which should be enough to get the shares up to the top of the upper parallel of that rising trend channel from back in August, as high as 3.2 pence by the end of next month. Symphony is next, and here you can see that we're consolidating well at the higher levels. We're finding support at the old target there, 11.2 pence, and above that we're looking for up to 22 pence by the end of next month. I might be rushing it a bit, but you get the gist. Ideally, we stay above the 50-day line at 10 pence in the meantime. Bit of stake building at Thruvision, Nicholas Slater on the case, and here you can see that that was actually a stock I was going to cover anyway yesterday, but the real sizzle is the way that we've had a double bottom and then a gap higher, only partially filled, which is normally a show of strength, and so above the 50-day line at 1.2 pence, looking for top of the range, 2.5 pence by the end of next month. Nice bounces, at least a couple of bounces there for the RSI at neutral 50, which tends to be a leading indicator on the upside. Speaking of upside, we're hoping for some follow-through upside on Tasty. The shares are in a broadening triangle there from last summer, or at least they appear to be. 1.65 the target for the stock, while it remains above a now rising 50-day moving average at 0.54. So hopefully Tasty will come up with the goods. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.